I bought this at WonderCon this last weekend. I have a couple sketchbooks already that I've like barely touched, but this one just really spoke to me. Like, you'll see later, but like the paper texture, it's all recycled and it's like brown. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I've done probably 95% digital art since forever. It's comfortable to me because I can just erase whatever I don't like and I can redo the same thing over and over and over till I like it. And I want to sketch. Like this is good. Like this is a good thing. If I can start sketching in this regularly, it will improve my art and will give me a better mental space. Like I know this. So I am at a coffee shop now and I'm going to sketch no matter what. I even bring my iPad because I didn't want to be tempted to revert back to my comfort zones. Yeah, get ready to see some ugly drawings. But it has to be ugly. It has to be ugly before it's beautiful, right? Should I unwrap it? I should unwrap it before I get in there. Oh, someone just pulled up next to me. Don't look in here. Okay, nothing to see. Please go inside. Get me inside. It's a bunch of boys. Just gonna wait awkwardly till they're gone. So, paper texture. You can see, it's like, it's still smooth and like thick paper, but it has like a more organic feel to it. So I don't know why, but I find that kind of comforting. Here's my supplies. I didn't know what I would use. I think I would prefer to use pen because once again, I'm trying to be comfortable with making bad drawings. And I think if I do a pencil, I'm just gonna be line, erase, line, erase. I'm not gonna ever learn how to adapt to what I have. So pen is the game. Pen is the objective. Well, art is the objective, so. Alright, so I rolled up to the coffee shop, I ordered my matcha latte, and I found a little table to sit at. It was the only table left in the coffee shop, and I'm very grateful that it was against a wall. As soon as I sat down and started unpacking my stuff, I completely irrationally felt like the entire room was staring at me. Like everyone magically stopped what they were working on and decided that artists who can't draw, wannabe fake artist, was the most interesting thing to look at and mock. The person next to me also had a sketchbook on their table and I just instantly felt so insecure, but I powered through. Okay, the idea of a new sketchbook sounds nice, but then once you open it and you just see a blank page ready to be ruined with your nasty art, I don't know, it's just such a hurdle to me. And I'm sure it is for a lot of you guys too. My first stroke on the page was actually an accident. I was just twirling my pen and I made a little mark. Kind of a relief, honestly. I started by just drawing the things that I could see. The coffee bags that were up on the shelf, the branding, the sun that you can see on the pillow in the back there, the architecture in the room. My main objective was just to fill the page and not think too hard about it. With this pen in particular, I didn't feel like I had that much control. So I switched over to a pencil, but try to erase as little as possible. I also don't necessarily know how to shade with a pen, so figure I should go with something a little bit closer to what I already know how to do. I really enjoy the feel of the pencil on the paper. Doing 90% digital art, you get used to like a really smooth surface that doesn't really grip back at all, and lines get more warbly. So it was really nice, feeling like I had more control over my tools. I think the best thing I did while I was there was this eye. It looks 100% better than probably any eye that I have ever drawn, digital or not. Eventually I did turn off the camera because it was making me just feel more self-conscious than I already felt. But here is the page at the end of my session. It was uncomfortable at first, it really was. But even just in probably the 30-40 minutes that I was sitting here, I felt like I had learned and my muscle memory was getting better. And you can even see the progression of quality from the things at the top of the page to the things closer to the bottom. I also felt like I was trusting myself a little bit more. I walked into the coffee shop with a I can't do this mindset, and I walked out with a lot more confidence, and the page was finished, which was my end goal. My hand is tired. My thumb is really tired. That was a good way to like jolt myself into it. And I at least have the first page done. Hopefully that'll make it easier to go back to it. Ideally not with a camera on me and not with a bunch of strangers around me too. Watching me film myself. I missed color. Makes you want to go Pick up some Copic pens or something. I have a Michaels gift card. Oh my gosh, I almost didn't put it in my wall today. I was like, but what if you end up, you know? And then I realized how expensive Copic pens are. So I got the Michaels knockoff versions. Just a few colors that appealed to my eye that fit with my typical art style, which I do tend to use muted colors. I continue to sketch pretty regularly over the next probably week and a half up till now. As I'm saying this to you. It really did get easier and easier over time, and while I initially felt restrained by the pencil, I feel that it was a clarifying experience, and sketching has helped my understanding of just shape and form, how to show a form with a limited amount of strokes. I can't remember where I heard this. You know, I'm gonna get the quote. Okay, it's from G.K. Chesterton. Art is limitation. The essence of every picture is the frame. If you draw a giraffe, you must draw him with a long neck. If in your bold, creative way you hold yourself free to draw a giraffe with a short neck, you will really find that you are not free to draw a giraffe. I've come to appreciate limitation in art and in life. It simplifies decisions, and when there's only one way to accomplish something, you have no other choice but to learn and do that thing. So if I'm not able to use color to show the shape of someone's torso, I'll have to then be very purposeful with my shapes and with my shading. At least for me, less was more in most cases. So it helped me kind of reaffirm things I already knew about art, reducing things down to its most simple shape. And also looking at a reference photo and seeing, okay, what are the simple shapes that I can take note of and utilize in my drawing? If I can't use color, what can I use from this reference photo? So on this page I did of Ellie from The Last of Us, I think it's probably the best realistic anatomy I have done in my months of learning art. And I did get to use color later on. I realized recently that Tignati reminds me a lot of Haku from Spirited Away, so I kind of drew them as one homogeneous being. I'm trying to free myself of the fear of messing things up. Often that fear stops me from even starting. As you can see by my massive unused sticker collection, I have commitment issues. I struggle with finality of anything. So I picked some of my favorites and I went to town and put a bunch of stickers front and back of my sketchbook. It was very fun. A simple exercise in letting go, I guess. It's just a sticker. They're just stickers. It's just a sketchbook. If you ruin a sketchbook, like, who cares? If you ruin one page of a sketchbook, it doesn't matter. I know that, I could say that out loud, but it is genuinely something that I struggle with. Like, being bound to perfectionism, even in small, negligible, unimportant things like this. So I'm trying to just stretch myself as a person. I don't know why, as a 27-year-old, I struggle so much with using Kirby stickers out of fear that I might want to use them somewhere else in some distant future reality, but I'm working on it. Yes, I'm working on it. Just a few days of sketching taught me how important it is to be purposeful with my strokes. Not to say that you can't draw freely necessarily, but especially when you're working on line art, each stroke really matters. So I almost feel like I was creating less work for myself, like less physical work. After about a week and a half of only drawing in my sketchbook, I don't know why, but I had this internal like voice telling me that I've forgotten how to do digital art. I already felt kind of out of practice. So I realized that I was having this irrational thought. I grabbed my iPad, I opened ASOS, and I found a shirt that I had been eyeing for a little while. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna do a little painting exercise for 20 minutes, and it doesn't matter how it looks, I'm just gonna do it. And I will say, I think the work I did in my sketchbook, focusing on using simple shapes to show anatomy, definitely showed up here. I put zero expectations on myself, and it ended up being something that I will look back to, I think, unless I progress past it too quickly. Which sounds like a humble brag, but I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm making progress. That's like my conclusion at the end of every video. Wow, progress, look! But that's the point, like that's literally why I'm doing this. So I felt like I was on a roll after this. The next morning I got right back to it, There's this photo of Laurie, who is portrayed by Timothy Chalamet, that I really liked, and I wanted to see if I could paint it. I used the same technique that I used for that Kylo Ren painting, that like side silhouette. It didn't work so well this time. I really struggled with the eye placement because I blocked out the shapes and I didn't do any sketch work. It took me a long time to like just adjust, and I spent half the time just using the liquify tool to correct my mistakes and try to not make it look like Frankenstein's monster. I spent a lot of time and I felt a bit discouraged when I realized how much extra work I'd created for myself, but I learned something from it. I learned the importance of sketching once again, although I feel like that should be obvious to me now, but it wasn't for some reason. I kind of felt like I had wasted a big chunk of my time by being, I guess, kind of foolish, believing in my own abilities maybe too much. But honestly, there's no wasted time in art or in life, because when you're learning a new skill, like when you dedicate yourself to something in school or in work or as a hobby, you learn a lot about yourself, your potential, your limits, your ability to push past your limits, what you want badly enough to sacrifice for, and you carry those experiences with you, both what you learned and the process of learning it. All in all, you're expanding your belief in what is possible in you and in the world around you. Anything that enriches you is not a waste of time. I went to bed thinking about how irritated I was with this painting and how much I just wanted to get out of bed and fix it, but I knew I was going to get back to it the next morning. And I did. I've been in such a good routine lately, and I think the sketchbook was a huge part of that. It was kind of nice just not having to stare at a screen constantly. And I did correct a lot of the mistakes, although I still haven't finished it at this moment. It's leagues ahead of where it was when I left it that night. All in all, another great, I keep saying week because I used to release these weekly, but a good time period. I'm obviously not 100% satisfied, and I don't know if I will ever be 100% satisfied in the art that I make, but I'm moving forward, and that is just what I keep holding on to. My practice is turning into improvement, and I'm just enjoying learning more about myself, and I love making videos on this channel. Like, I honestly haven't been this excited about content since Genshin Impact came out and I started playing. I really love making these videos, and I'm glad that you guys are liking them. I would normally say that I'd take requests on what I should do next, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And hopefully you'll like it all the same. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever. And good luck on whatever you're working on, okay? Okay. Goodbye. Sayonara.